Okay.
It's just for our YouTube channel. And,
Okay.
We normally get 5 million views in 2 days.
Oh, nice. All right.
So this was your first time in Brazil, right?
It's my very first time in Brazil.
And how was the conference?
The conference was fantastic. I thank you so much for the invite. I love being able to get to come here and talk about two of my passions, technology and health and well-being. So,
can you give us a brief summary of your talk?
Yeah. So for the last 3 years, I've had the honor of working at Fitbit as a software engineer, and I'm the software engineer responsible for the web API. And so this talk was all about 3 years of my learnings in this particular role. And it's all about scaling the Fitbit web API. So we're now doing over 10 times as many API requests as we were when I started. And when I started, I was the only engineer dedicated to the API. And now we have tens of engineers who are working on the API, and it's just grown absolutely tremendously. So technically, it's fairly straightforward in how you scale an API that much, but there's all sorts of things that you need to learn about. How do you scale your organization? Like, how do you actually train all of the people inside of your company to understand what are your API best practices? How do you design new APIs? How do you alter APIs? And then Fitbit is the biggest user of the Fitbit API. Mm-hmm. So how do you work with the developers inside your company who are also using those APIs? So the talk is all about those 3 years of learnings on those.
And also how to manage change, right?
Change management is a huge part of the job. You want to be innovative, but you also don't want to break all of those companies and all of those integrations who put their hard work in place. So how do you deal with that? And so in the talk I talk about 3 different examples of how we migrated everyone over to HTTPS, how we improved our webhook service, and also how we moved, or in the process still, of moving everyone from OAuth 1 to OAuth 2.
Wow. Cool. And any word about the future, the next steps on Fitbit API?
Yeah, it's an exciting time. As I said, I now have 3 years of understanding all of the capabilities and some of the constraints of the API, and I know the problems that all of our clients have. So now it's time to put all of that knowledge together and start thinking about new architectures for a major revision of the API. So not sure yet what it's going to look like, but hopefully come back on your video soon when I do know what that's going to look like.
All right, great. Well, I thank you very much for coming to the API Experience event and to visit Sensedia, right?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been great to be here.
Okay, great. Thank you.